Okay, I'm going to do my low, my high, my act of kindness before I get legit tempted to just blurt out the joke I had to start this video off with. So, what was my low? Um, I don't know. I guess the fact that I said I had something very important to do yesterday, and it actually went really well. In fact, that's my high. But my low, but the thing of it is, it involved a lot of driving, like specifically from Elmira to Binghamton, which is a pretty long drive. I mean, it's not like I left the state or anything, but it's still a pretty long drive, all things considered. Actually, another part of my high is the fact that it was the first time being in Binghamton in years. I've been to Binghamton for playing sports, football and wrestling. Um, did we go there for track? Oh, we didn't go there for track. We never went to Binghamton. Did we go? No, wait, we did. I have been to their track before for track and field. Right. It just dawned on me that's the case. So yeah, it's actually fun fact. If you're driving at Binghamton, you can actually see Binghamton's high school football field from the highway. It's actually a really nice football field. And yeah, let's see. I've been in Binghamton. I've been to Johnson City. Actually, the place I was in. Technically I was in Binghamton, but it was like on the border of where Johnson City is. And Main Endwell, Vestal, and Endicott are like right there, also. So yeah, been a while since I've been in the Binghamton area, and it was quite nice. But my low is the fact that I was still driving a lot. Seriously, I actually went to get gas yesterday morning before I got everything started. And I did so much driving, I practically undid everything I paid for. So, yeah, that's fun, right? All right, let's see. What was my high? All right, I already talked about my high. My act of kindness was I actually ran a quick errand for my grandmother after I was done doing everything I had to do for the day. So, yeah, I don't know. It was actually quite a pretty good day overall. I have to say that important thing I did, things are really starting to look up for it because, for one, I had a great time doing it. Don't worry, I'll explain what it is in due time, provided it's a very favorable outcome. How's that? But anyway, good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. So, remember how I was relatively concerned that last week's episode of Hot Ones, which featured Lorde, was going to be the season finale? Well, I can safely say that wasn't the case because we do have a new Hot Ones episode this week. Here's the bad news. Now I'm for sure convinced that this will be the season finale because of this week's guest. And this is where I was going to make the joke, by the way. This week's Hot Ones guest is Matt Damon. If you're a fan of Team America World Police, you'll be able to get that joke. But yeah, Matt Damon is, this week's Hot Ones guest. And again, Matt Damon is a huge Hollywood star. Like, honestly, if you're ending the season with someone, he'd be a way to do it, I think. For sure. I mean, his accolades run through the roof. Being a writer. Did he direct anything? Hold on. I know he's an actor, obviously, because I could go on and on about his, filmography in terms of being an actor. Good Will Hunting, The Martian, the Ocean's movies, the Bourne movies. This list, it will go on and on. Hold on a second. Okay, he's not a director, but he's an actor, producer, and screenwriter. Okay, so he's still done a lot, right? And again, the movies he's been in. I just mentioned all his writing accolades, especially when he worked with Ben Affleck and Good Will Hunting. Saving Private Ryan, The Departed, Ford versus Ferrari. This list will go on and on for forever. It's Matt Damon, dude. But again, I'm a fan of Team America World Police. The one constant joke is Matt Damon. Yeah, basically, if you don't know, in Team America World Police, which is that one all puppet movie, by the way, whenever Matt Damon appeared, his only line was Matt Damon. And that's all he did. It's so stupid, but it worked. As a joke, that is. But then again, it was made by the people who did South Park, so yeah, you can imagine how everything went from there. So honestly, I'm really looking forward to this episode. I'm fully convinced that this will be the season finale. In fact, the only thing that's going to be missing from the actual outright statement of the season finale is if Sean Evans winds up saying, and to close out season 15, we have Matt Damon. He'll say something along those lines, which, cool. I mean, this is a good long season. It was. And I know a couple weeks ago, Sean mentioned how, whenever we do take a season break, sometimes it's better if it's more than 3 weeks. I will not be surprised if that winds up being the case. I think this was a good season, a good enough season where, Sean Evans and the good people over at First We Feast and Hot Ones put a lot of effort into what they did. I mean, this is the first full season where they were allowed in the studio again. I mean, no, it's not the original format that they had before the pandemic. But, Sean Evans was right in front of the guest. They were eating hot wings with the sauces right in front of them. It's progress. They just had to be farther apart than normal. I'm not complaining, though. This is still a great season. So if they wound up taking more than 3 weeks, I'm not going to be upset by that. I mean, I'm going to be upset in the sense that, oh, I don't want it to be so long. I love Hot Ones. Don't disappear forever on me. And it's not going to disappear forever. Let's say that this is season 15, the season 15 finale. It does take longer than 4 weeks for everything to be taken care of. You know what? That just means that when season 16 starts up again, we're in for something really special. I mean, I have no idea I guess I could always speculate how season 16 will be different from season 15. I mean, I could definitely see them still keeping the format that they have currently, where if you haven't watched Hot Ones recently, originally it was like one table with like the row of hot sauces down the middle, like wings, two sets of wings on each side of the sauces. Sean Evans on one side and the Hot Ones guest on the other, and that's how it worked. But here, well, actually, if I really want to be thorough with how the format is, it's in a black room with a black tablecloth, obviously with lighting, and you have water and milk on the side of where the sauces are. But what they've been doing here is it's literally like 2 tables, and the format is pretty much the same. That's pretty much all it is. So I could see them doing that format for season 16, considering that, sadly, from what I've been hearing, there's kind of been a few spikes in those who have COVID-19. Which, again, I'm not going to force anyone to do it, but please try and get vaccinated. I mean, I did. I don't feel the worse for wear for it. And plus, I feel much better and safer that I did. Plus, I no longer have to shower every time I leave my apartment before I want to go see my nephews. Yeah, that's still an effect in my family, by the way. And if you're wondering, yes, It does get exhausting, especially if you have to stop anywhere to do something like get gas. Seriously, I can get gas outside, not having walked inside of the gas station. Like, pay with a, debit card, obviously. And I'd still have to go back and shower. And yes, it is. It's exactly as silly as it sounds, but that's just how it is. That's just the world that we sadly currently live in. I mean, yeah, things are getting better. And everyone pretty much knew that. I think what really ruined 2020 for everyone? It's the fact, it's not just because COVID-19 put delays on anything or canceled anything or anything like that. I think it was the fact that statistically it would take years before the world would truly get back to normal. That's what legitimately ruined everyone's 2020. Because people would get so downtrodden and depressed by the fact that an X amount of progress would be made and we'd still have a long way to go. I'm not going to lie, that can be depressing. I've fallen for stuff like that before too. I mean, there are times I'd go running where, if it was like, a 10-mile run or whatever, I'd be feeling good after 4 miles and I still have 6 miles to go. So, again, stuff like that can feel pretty daunting. But I like to think that by the end, it's pretty obvious 2021 is already better than 2020. Already it is. Says the guy who pretty much kicked off this year reading chapter 1000 from One Piece. And, yeah. And, I would say recently it hasn't been good for me, but that was really because, a couple of recent arguments with my mother and such. But in terms of the 13, actually, I just realized we're 11 days into this 100 days, and they all haven't been great, but they haven't been bad either, so I'll consider it good. So it's moving right along. A tad slow, but moving right along. And just think, by the time it's all over, by the time 100 days is over, we'll be at Halloween. Hopefully things will be more normalized, I suppose. And, we should be well within season 16 of Hot Ones. For sure with that. Because I am positive, let's say that this week is the season finale of Hot Ones, and they do take longer than 3 weeks. We are for sure going to have Hot Ones in October. In fact, we're going to have it in September probably. Although, if it takes longer than 3 weeks, it'll be probably late September. Which, honestly, I'd be okay with that. To be perfectly honest, all of next week, I'm actually going to be with my family up at Cuca Lake. Yeah, my mother's family is actually visiting, and there really isn't much point to me watching Hot Ones or anything like that. At least not right away. So that's gonna kill 1 week at least. And yeah. I'll tell you what though. Tell me if this makes me kind of a bad person, but after my family visits, obviously I am extremely sad because these are people that I don't physically get to see in person for like a year or more. Or not saying multiple years, but longer than a year, right? I'm extremely sad when we part ways. As it's sad when family parts ways. And there is that sort of grieving process where, there's some time to, recover and try and move on. But once that happens, I almost completely forget they exist. And I feel so bad admitting that, but it's true. The only time I ever really remember any of them is if they're ever brought up in conversation. And that's not to say that admittedly, yeah, they are kind of forgettable. But, I see them so not very often that you'd almost forget they'd exist too. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But in a way, I guess it's sort of necessary because how often do we part ways with anything in life? And then we wind up either forgetting what happened or we wind up being all the better for it. I don't know, just some food for thought, I guess. Like, favorite, share, the subscribe button, follow me on social platforms, on YouTube. I'm very humble in this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Remember, you're on the Talker Channel, which will be here to lend it and also be back. Take care and make good choices. Matt Damon. See ya.